Welcome to another episode of Positive Solutions for Life. This is Peggy Meyer. Today's guests are Jeffrey Kipple and Mindy Blackstein. Jeff and Mindy are a powerhouse husband and wife duo with over 25 years of pioneering work in fitness, wellness, and the empowerment industries, and are the creative forces behind the Ridiculous Universe. They have a passion for storytelling, writing, publishing, and helping people transform their bodies naturally and finding true happiness. Jeff and Mindy's dedication to innovation, community building, and empowerment is evident in every aspect of their latest project, The Ridiculous, which offers a holistic experience designed to inspire, entertain, and transform. Their work goes beyond storytelling. It's a movement that encourages readers to dream big, do ridiculous, and achieve remarkable transformations in their own lives. So, welcome to the podcast, Jeff and Mindy.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Well, I was so excited for our conversation because I feel like we all need a little bit of ridiculous in our lives. And I would love to hear a little bit more about that. So can you start the conversation by sharing just a little bit about you guys, your personal journeys, and how it has led to where you are today?
Okay, I'll start.
Of course.
Uh, yeah, so we've been together both as husband and wife, business partners and partners in business for quite some time now. And really, when we go right back, we helped to start and launch what's known as the natural bodybuilding industry and fitness model search events. And we did that because we wanted to provide an opportunity for people to transform, step up on a stage or set a goal to step up on stage and then inspire others with that transformation that they did. And along the way, after doing it for many, many years, we realized that there was so much emphasis being placed on the outward appearance of the body, and people forgot about the inside, the mental, the emotional, the functional health. So we've been on a journey to course correct and take people down a different pathway where they're more focused on the journey,
Mhm.
the transformation, and what that can do to improve their life, to really up level themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect because this podcast is all about transforming from the inside out. So good for like transitioning to that, but it was important to start from somewhere where people were. But I think now everybody's a little bit more in tune a little bit to go from the inside transformations.
Exactly. And so our motto became what we've done our whole lives, which was dream big, do ridiculous, and achieve remarkable. And by do ridiculous, it means do the things you were ridiculed about, the things, pursue the projects that you believe in that others might have thought was ridiculous. Prove that you can do it by doing it and then achieve remarkable. And that's pretty much like what's fueled all of our projects and all of our adventures in life.
Yeah, so many people either don't dream
Mhm.
or are set in their ways and think that there's no point in dreaming because they're not going to achieve it.
Mhm.
Or there's the other side, which is dream really big. And maybe you can achieve it. Or if you come really close, that still is like
Mhm.
remarkable. So we've always gone on that model. And, when we first started the whole natural bodybuilding and fitness movement, most people laughed at us. When we went out to sponsor meetings, yeah, it was laughter, it was ridicule. Uh, and we just continued on that because we had that vision or that image in your mind's eye of,
Mhm.
what it can be. And
Mhm.
we just pursued that. And it's also a matter of being able to pivot and adjust along the way to meet the new demands or the new experiences that people want to have.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I just find it really interesting because it's like, how do you keep people, they have something in their head, but if they're getting ridiculed for something, if they're, getting laughed at, how can you help people like really tap into them inner selves about, yeah, that's true to them and it can work. Just don't let everybody else's opinions like shadow their own light. How do you help people do that?
Well, I think we're trying to change the word ridiculous to mean that it's something fantastic because if
Mhm.
others are ridiculing it, it means you're onto something,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Research it further, even if it means you pivot. But like, if you believe it, if you have a spark in you, well, maybe that's your purpose.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what you're contributing to yourself, the people around you, society, whatever it is that is your calling. Like if you have that spark, if you have that belief, if you have that passion, then pursue it because you could achieve remarkable. And so if you're ridiculed, look at it as a good thing.
Yeah, because I'm what's coming to mind for me is like all of like successful people that, like inventors, Einstein, all those things, they were laughed at like for what they were doing and continuing to try. But the most successful people, if we read about them, have had those major times in their lives where people are just like laughing at them, like that's ridiculous. That's not going to happen. But they kept to it and they showed that it is possible. I'm thinking the impossible word too. Like ridiculous could be like that impossible goal in some aspects.
I like
Yeah,
that.
impossible is that I am possible, if
Hmm.
the word. For a lot, the way that we've approached some of the aspects of it is by giving people some tips or missions that they can take or different actions, actionable steps that they can take
Hmm.
so that they can feel a little bit different or think a bit different. Because what we found, at least in the fitness space, is when people did something and they felt better, well, they wanted to find out, well, what else can they do to feel better?
Hmm.
And if they felt better, they tended to share that with other people
Yeah.
and tell other people about it. So it's about getting people and meeting them where they can receive that information.
Hmm.
And that's where we kind of changed our focus or direction. We first did it directly through competitions and the fitness industry with TV shows and magazines and events. And we decided, okay, well, what if we try it differently? And that's where the book came into play. And the book is a funny book. We used
Mhm.
sci-fi comedy as a genre,
Okay.
kind of like in the style of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Okay.
because one, science fiction allows you to open your imagination.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anything is possible. And comedy, if you really get into that moment and you're laughing, well, you're tapping into being in the moment. And
Hmm.
if you're in the moment, maybe you can get into that creative space and take in the insight or the information or something like that to have that aha or that shift. And that
Hmm.
was, what we did with our book.
Yeah.
Our book.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
You-
Well,
Oh, there we go.
yeah, it's
So
good.
we
Thank you.
really took the book and we said, okay, there's all these laugh out loud moments. Okay, let's embed them with mindfulness, with thought-provoking things that people can just pause for a minute and kind of reflect, maybe laugh about,
Mhm.
but see the deeper meaning behind it. And
Yeah.
hopefully that sticks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, 'cause sometimes, personal development and stuff is like all, kind of like research based, you read it and it's kind of, do this, and it doesn't really get you into that present moment necessarily, like you said, in those laughter things. If you do a sci-fi comedy where you're still learning stuff, but it's kind of indirectly, I guess, and you're opened up in a different way instead of like, oh, I have to learn this, as, sometimes personal development seems to me like something that a course you would take in, school. But if it's something that's more pleasurable, just something that you would pick up and read for fun, like how you can integrate some of those things, that mindset things can kind of filter in unknowingly to me.
That exactly. It's like we're planting the seed and
Hmm.
then we keep like, putting spots where we're watering it. And eventually people will go, oh, perhaps that's our plan. And it's actually pretty fun to write because we're doing it with a goal in mind.
Right, right. And to be able to be in that space where anything is possible, because it's in that world that is kind of a little unknown to us, but we can make it however we wish, right? Like your background is, just we can play in it, I think.
Yeah. It's just, it's important to get people just to have that moment to pause
Mhm.
and stop all the things that are going on around them and
Mhm.
just get centered or take a breath or laugh and just really laugh. And if you really laugh, then you're in that moment and you're
Mhm.
not thinking about other things. And if the thing that made you laugh is something that you're doing in your life that really is ridiculous that you're doing it, or it's something that you need to do differently that you've been afraid to do, well, then that gives you that opportunity to step into that.
Yeah. And that creates, you talked about earlier a little bit of, if they feel good, then I feel like you feel more confident. When you feel good, you're more confident. And so, and then you're on that plane of just being present, you feel good. Like the possibilities kind of open up and you're like, oh, well, maybe I can do XYZ or I can do this or and it just kind of opens up that little just a little enough space to be able to let that come in and go, oh, I can shift that. I can transform. I can change that a little bit.
Yeah. You know, what you said about confident is also a really, really big deal because when we started putting on the events, our thought was that people who made these transformations and they look like these superheroes and they're stepping on stage, that they'd be full of confidence
Yeah.
and be in the most perfect epitome of health and wellness and fitness. And we realized that that's not always the case, or in most cases, the majority of the time, it's not the case. And we really wanted to be able to shift that and be able to give people a much broader perspective that it's more than just, what the body looks like. It's more than just strength and appearance,
Mm-hmm.
and help people rethink what it means to be fit or what well-being is all about. That it's not just everyone's opinion that it's how I look, how much weight can I lift in the gym, or what can I do? It's, well, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And how are you engaging the people around you? And what are the aspirations you have? And how are you going about to get that? That's
Mm-hmm.
all part of well-being. It's,
Yeah.
to be happy in all those senses.
Yeah, it truly is. I mean, it encompasses a lot. And oftentimes we just focus on one or two things. Obviously, the easiest one is, appearance and, like nutrition wise, because that just seems like nutrition and exercise seems to be the thing. But really, how do you feel? If you like how you feel, you're going to exude a little bit more confidence. You're going to step into some things. It doesn't matter if somebody else doesn't view you the same as you view yourself. It's all a matter of just you stepping into yourself and stepping into the world. So how do you, is there some extras, through your book? I know it's a sci-fi comedy, so it's not like a step by, like what kind of things do you present to the readers in order for them to like kind of make some little shifts and be present? You have some, you always have like little comedy moments, but what else is in there? Like if somebody wants to pick that up, they're like, I don't know, like what can they learn from it?
Well, going back to what you were just talking actually about, it's how you feel.
Mhm.
Beyond that, it's actually how you think, because how you think shifts how you feel.
Correct.
And so little nuggets like that are embedded throughout. Like the
Mhm.
characters will have a scene and, just like a line is said about that, just so people go, oh, I can change my thoughts.
Mhm.
So pretty much that's the kind of thing that is going through there. There's also, we're embedding like little things about you can pay attention to what you're putting into your body because it affects how you feel.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And then different little tips on nutrition and on moving your body,
Mhm.
done in a way that it's not preaching about here's what you need to do for nutrition. It's just in funny ways that people can see things in a different style.
It's more like they go, oh, and then
Yeah.
it cause them to think differently.
And we've
Yeah.
had people say that to us and said, "Oh, I like that scene, and now I'm doing this differently," or
Mhm.
"That was really cool."
Mhm.
So it's being able to approach it from that standpoint, and then being able to take it further. So our book goes into like a continuity program that allows people to take different missions so that they can, set a goal and go forward. And
Mhm.
that's, because of all the people that we've worked with over the years. It's their information, their insights, their
Mhm.
innovations that we are embedding in the book and then giving people the tools that, well, you can do these things. And now
Mhm.
go and share that, on social media, share it with your friends or keep your inspiration going.
Right. It's those little nuggets that people can hang on to. I just thinking of all the little like one-liners that I've heard over the years or quotes, just like short little things that I go, just made me stop and think and go, oh, well, I could do this, or I could do that, or maybe if I did it this way. Oh, that's kind of a cool idea. I mean, just you're just talking about all those little like one-liners stuck throughout a story of kind of just making it fun. And then but also making it stick because I think it sticks better when it's just kind of like one little shot at a time.
Yeah.
So what we're doing actually with that, so let's say the one-liner is about a circadian reset, which
Mhm.
is when you change your body rhythm so that you're getting up like with the sunrise and you're going to sleep around sunset. So, and it's really helpful for the body, and you actually feel good too.
Mhm.
So in the book, it's mentioned, circadian reset. It kind of explains a little bit about the benefits and stuff like that. But then in the ridiculous universe, people can actually go on a mission to do a circadian reset. And part of that is going outside, which is beneficial to the body, and going out and enjoying and finding a sunrise and taking it in and enjoying it. And if they can do it for 30 days or, 10 of those 30 days,
Mhm.
then share their breakthrough at the end. Like, how did it change them? How do they feel different? What do they enjoy about it? Or post a picture that they took, or painted, or a story that they wrote during that time.
Mhm.
It's a way to actually get people to take actionable wellness so that they actually feel like real results. Because for us, it's because they read a line or a paragraph in our story.
Right, right. That just makes it so much fun. I mean, just taking on little missions, little experiments, however you want to frame it. But it's just like, oh, well, I could probably do that for this month and see, just something that would just be a little bit different, but it awakens a little bit more inside people.
Exactly. And they get recognized and rewarded for it. So we're actually
Game
trying to
wise.
identify people.
Yeah, so making it a game kind of where those streaks or however people like refer to
That,
them as like, those little actionable steps. That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's this whole thing. It's not just a book. You talked about the universe, the ridiculous universe. So is this like a course? Or is it there like how like after the book? Like I'm stuck in this personal development, how things do. So I'm sure it's a lot different.
what we've created is a whole 3D immersive world. So through your avatar, which could be customized to, look as
Mhm.
realistic as you want or as fun as you want, now you can engage with different sort of vendors and exhibitors and experts. You can listen to different seminars and workshops. You can connect with people who maybe are on the same journey as you or people who can guide you on those journeys. So we've created into this whole online space. We used to run the events. So we used to run large expos and conventions, and those are great to do, and people get to interact and network. When it ends, it ends.
Yeah.
So, well, how do we keep that always ongoing and
Mhm.
allow people to connect from wherever they are in the world with their friends or people that they want to learn more from? So that's what this whole virtual space is. It's to give people those incentives to move forward. And you were mentioning leaderboards or streak boards and things like that. Well, people do like that. It gives people a reason to do something on a continual basis. And it really following that whole philosophy of Kaizen, which is all about taking small incremental
Mhm.
steps. And like Mindy said, well, maybe on the first day, let's say you were doing that circadian reset, but
Mhm.
let's say we framed it differently. And we didn't call it that because that may be something that someone doesn't want to do, but we called it sunrise magic.
Mhm.
And we said, get up every day at sunrise and go outside and go for a walk or take a picture or a video or do
Mhm.
something creative during that time and do it every day for 30 days. Well,
Mhm.
maybe the first couple of days you're still tired because that's
Yeah.
not your routine. And after a bit, you'll start to recognize, well, I have more energy during the day and I'm getting more things done and I'm actually taking pictures and I've never done that before. And
Mhm.
after they've done it for a period of time, now they have shifted their way of being.
Yeah.
Well, how they've done that without feeling like they were told to do this exercise and do it.
Mhm.
So, it's doing that in a fun way. And along the course, well, maybe they're also getting now information that's sent to them about the benefits of, getting up early and what it's
Mhm.
doing for your body. And maybe you'll win a badge at the end and you'll get the Sunrise Magic badge, but maybe you'll get a badge called Fit Advancements because now
Mhm.
you've done something for your fitness level.
Yeah.
Then most likely you're going to think, well, what else can I do?
Yeah.
That's our goal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about how it's like I don't like how the winters, comes in, the time changes because my routine gets off. Like I like to go for a walk in the morning to see the sunrise. But sometimes the sunrise happens like while my kids need to be going to school. And so it's kind of like, and the sunset sets a little earlier in my schedule now. And it's so, but there's other things we can do. But that the point is, I miss those opportunities. And we know like, and it's just a reminder, like sometimes people have done it before and they've done it for a little while, but it kind of gets off of their routine and they kind of forget how like maybe the benefits of it and maybe the reason I'm not moving up in the morning or, getting up and, being lively is because I missed my morning sunrise. Yeah. And putting this two together to try like, okay, now what can I do instead? Well, I might have to go for a walk later or different part of the day, but that's how it is.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
point.
good point. And it's providing a space where people can come and interact through their avatars, or
Yeah.
they could have their video on and be
Mhm.
real. But there's a lot of people that may not enter into like a fitness expo or a wellness event because they may be self-conscious of what they look like or the knowledge that they have. So here's a way for people to engage in a different way, you know,
Mhm.
anytime that they want
Yeah.
and find access to wholesome products and proven methods and authentic role models that can inspire them.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that just seems like a great world to live in. Like there's the endless possibilities can come out of that, right?
Yeah.
Where can people find out more about you? Where do they go?
Easiest way is go to doridiculous.com. All of our links to everything that we're doing from getting the book or the audio book or finding about this universe or
Mhm.
having us booking us to come and do a speaking engagement or
Yeah.
to connect with other experts. Yeah, doridiculous.com is where everything is.
Oh, great, great. I encourage everyone to go because sounds amazing. And if you want a different way to approach making some little changes in your life that's going to be like fun, enjoyable, like this sounds like this is it. It's all right there for you. And you can go on these different missions and just have whatever fun you want and just forget about the regular world because this sounds like more fun.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, is there anything you want to share that we haven't shared so far? Because I'm like kind of just stuck in this. Oh my gosh, this is really good. So, what else would you like to share with us today?
The other thing that we'd like to share is that uh, a lot of people stop short of being creative
Mm,
and
mhm,
expressing, your highest form is being able to find out what your true potential is. And
mhm.
typically where you're at that is where your money lies anyway. But we're inspiring people to step out of their comfort zone and be creative. So we're doing all kinds of fan fiction contests. So on our book cover, which is like the scene behind us,
Mhm.
we haven't put the images of the characters, for example, because we want people to create what their version of those characters are. We want people to be creative and come up with their own storylines and, take that whole notion of what fan fiction is, which is really just coming up with another way of seeing that piece of fiction or art or anything else and put their
Mhm.
own spin on it.
Yeah.
And know that they can create in whatever fashion that is and do it in such a way where they don't feel like they're being judged on it, where
Mhm.
they're in an environment where it's all about, like Mindy said at the beginning, dreaming big and doing ridiculous so that they can achieve something remarkable, even if that's for themselves. Like just,
Right.
wow, I accomplished this.
Yeah. We all are caged into like we don't let our creativity out because I think we just fear like what other people are going to think of it. Like, is it cool? Is it not? Is it good? It's not, just but if it's authentically yours, it's good, right? It's
Yeah.
coming out of the goodness. And so just a space to be able to allow that creativity to come out more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so important because that's how you have fun. And that's how you discover your passion. And that's like the point of life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because otherwise it just feels like, ooh, kind of closed in and stuff. The fun is less like free. It's like
Right.
your little kid inside of you gets to come out and play.
It's the same thing with reading a book. A lot of people say, well, I don't have time for it, but they have time for Netflix and all these other types of
Yeah,
things.
that's a good
But
point.
when you enter into a world of a book, you're
Mhm.
entering into a whole imaginative world.
Yeah.
Like the author, or us in this case, yeah, we've created this environment, but we didn't create every aspect of it because
Mhm.
those are the things that you have to fill in with your mind.
Mhm.
Reading books, if you read 100 books, you're in 100 different worlds, 100 different experiences. And I think a lot of people have forgotten that how much fun it is actually to do that.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's not as cool as sitting back and watching a TV show or a movie or something. And it really is.
It is. It's more interactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more interactive. And I think some people are like, oh, I think they equate like I think I mean, I totally be off, but I'm thinking that some people have stopped. I've heard something that they stop reading after like they get finished with school. Like they equate reading with like things they
Right.
have to read, like textbooks and things that it's just like hard to read and not enjoyable. But reading is really all what you want it to be. You can read, there's so many different things out there to read, and a comedy, like definitely give me something to laugh about. So if you don't like to read, you just haven't found the right thing to read yet.
Good
So
Good
point.
point.
I like
read ridiculous, and then create something ridiculous in your in your own life.
And you could also listen to the audiobook, so you could do it while you're working out, going for a walk, or doing housework or traveling.
Yeah.
So there's always a way to step out of the ordinary and go into something a little bit more extraordinary.
Yeah, because there are, that's true because some people just don't like to read because it's hard to read. And to listen to it, I love listening to books too, just because you can do it while you're traveling. It's like, wouldn't you just love to like go down the road and just see somebody just laughing? Yeah, like give me some of that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. As we wrap up today, is there any last thought or quote that you would like to leave the listeners with?
Dream,
Dream
dream
big.
big, do ridiculous, achieve remarkable.
Do it. Dream big, do ridiculous, be remarkable. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jeff and Mindy. I really appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We had
Yeah.
fun.